This week, we're gonna take you on a free-ranging Aoudad hunt in the hill country of Texas. Well, this hunt started off like so many hunts do, with two bow hunters talking together. Bob Hurd lives in Texas, and he's got a ranch in the hill country. Bob called me up and said, Fred, hey, I've watched your show for years. I'm a traditional bow hunter, you're a traditional bow hunter. I'd like to extend an invite for you to come hunt my ranch for free-ranging Aoudad. We've got a few Aoudads on the place, and I think you'd really enjoy it. So I called up my buddy Mike Palmer, custom bowyer, great friend, and I said, let's head down to Texas and see if we can get an Aoudad in the hill country.
Well, it's 2:10 in the morning, and we're actually going to pick Mike up. Mike Palmer, well, it's hard to describe Mike. He is absolutely awesome, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, but he is not a morning person, and I think we're about to see that. Mike hates mornings. It's amazing that he's a hunter, really, because he's way happier on an evening hunt. So we'll go over here, and I'm sure he's up. The problem is, my cameraman Cole slept in a little bit. Not bad, but a little bit. So I was supposed to be at Mike's at 2. We're actually here at 2:18. So we'll see what hard time he gives us. Alrighty. Let's go see. I don't see any lights on. That's not a good sign. Oh, you bugger. Did you guys set that up? No. Oh, nice. Oh. What is... That's not Mike Palmer. What are you doing up and jumpy?
Hey.
That's not me. That's Cole.
Look what time it is.
Well, whose fault was it, Cole, honestly?
It was totally Fred's fault.
I'm gonna kill you. Whose fault was it?
Look what
He was
time
late.
it is.
I was up at the house at 1:45.
Tell the truth or I'm gonna kill you. Tell the truth.
Oh, I am telling the truth, Mike.
Tell the truth.
Okay, I was late.
Okay, there we go. Everybody's gonna think I slept in. I was waiting for Cole.
All right, Mike, you got me on that one. I thought you were asleep, all the lights in the house were off, and you were hiding waiting for me. That's pretty good. Well, it was a 12-hour drive, and the plan was to rotate drivers. Well, that didn't end up panning out, and it wasn't those guys' fault. Cole, who was running the camera, and Mike Palmer offered to drive, but once I got behind the wheel, I was excited to get to where I was going. I put the hammer down, and we made it in about 12 hours.
Good, how's it going?
Good, good.
trip?
We made it, oh yeah. When we got here to camp, look at this view. Unbelievable. And Bob's got a great, comfortable camp set up. He runs solar power with batteries. He's even got a shower that's run off propane so you can have a hot shower. I love the camp as soon as we got here.
Right.
You know, we're hoping to get some on video. I'm sure there's probably some viewers that have never seen them, you know what I mean, and never hunted them, and I'm excited to, and I love that you're free ranging here too, you know what I mean? A lot of Texas, and you know, I guess I'm certainly not against it, but a lot of hunting in Texas is high fence.
Right.
I just prefer or choose not to hunt the high fence stuff. I'd rather hunt the free ranging.
Right. These sheep have been around since the first one that I know of that was shot was when I was in 3rd grade, and I'm 30 years old now.
No
And
kidding.
now and that was like the only one ever seen. And now it's like, if you sit at a couple, the spots that you're gonna be sitting at, if you don't see one, I'll be surprised.
Well, the first day Bob showed us around his beautiful ranch. He's got just under 1,000 acres, and it's awesome. It is rough country though, he wasn't kidding. Almost everything straight up and down. We were using 4-wheelers to get around, and it was even rough on the 4-wheelers.
All right, we got a pretty sweet setup here. Had a blast driving around with Bob, showed us the whole country. Now we're gonna run into town. We're gonna get my license. We're gonna get some food, and we're gonna eat dinner. Then we're heading back up here, spend the night, be hunting in the morning. All right, buddy, I'm ready.
All right, man. Well, good luck.
Thank you,
Shoot
sir.
him dead.
I appreciate it. We'll be back around, what, 10, 11, something like that?
Yeah, that worked.
All right, buddy. Let's do this.
Well, the very first day I got into the stand, wouldn't you know, we see 3 Aoudad, 2 ewes and a kid, I guess is what you'd call it, come by us. it made me want them even worse. It was awesome. They were beautiful animals, looked totally at home in the hill country in Texas, and it was just awesome. I was blown away at how well they blend in, and they skirted out around us about 60 yards and went up into the hills on the other side. They probably dropped down for water because they sure didn't slow down anywhere else. Well, the second morning, we got back into the same spot. I was kind of doubtful that we'd see Aoudad again, and all of a sudden, we heard noises in the rocks. We knew that indicated that the Aoudad were coming down the ridge because that's what Bob had told us. And sure enough, about 15 minutes later, 2 Aoudad pop out in the rocks. When these Aoudads came through the rocks, of course, everything happened really fast. I pick up my bow fast because they're cruising through this little valley. Cole spins around, he's running the camera for me quick, and they lock up. They heard us, saw us, smelled us, something happened, and they're looking right at us. I make a snapshot and watch as my arrow goes right through the top of this ewe's hair. It broke my heart. Well, I came back in with my sad story, and of course, Mike and Bob gave me a hard time. Hey, that's what friends do, and I was fully well expecting it.
I'm the first one to ever miss an Aoudad on this ranch ever.
Yeah, there's been dozens of guys that have killed him in the same spot as you, Fred.
You know, Aoudad looks something like that. You know, this is not the heart. The heart's gonna lie, you know, more like right in here.
Thank you.
You might want
to. Nice. Pick on your buddy when you're down. Kick him. I see how it is. I see how it is.
On the third morning, it had been pretty slow. We hadn't really seen much, and we hear a rock roll in front of us, high up on the ridge. About 30 minutes later, we hear a couple more rocks. Not one, not two, but 5 different Aoudads drop off this cliff and come down the ridge towards us. They're standing there looking around. A couple of them even start headbutting. They either winded us or hurt us because we made just the slightest little noise between the little tiny tink and the wind swirl in that bottom. There was something those Aoudads didn't like, and I watched them walk away. It broke my heart because it was so awesome watching them, and I knew it was starting to come down to the wire.
Well, it is day 5, our last day to hunt Aoudads. It's been a blast. They're sneaky boogers. We've sat 8 times, and we've seen them 3 out of the 8 sits. So we're gonna go this morning. Mornings have usually been our best. Yesterday morning, although we didn't see anything, we're pretty hopeful that something's gonna come in today. If not, it's been a blast hunting with my buddy Mike, and we've seen some pretty country.
As I sat there and it started to get light this morning, I thought, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Looks like the sun's starting to come up. Haven't heard anything. Probably gonna be headed home without an Aoudad. And then we heard a rock roll. I look and I'm staring hard on the hillside, and it takes these Aoudad. They're such crafty animals. They're so sharp, they're so spooky that like 10 minutes went by until I heard the next little click of a hoof on a rock. Then we waited another 5 or 10 minutes and I heard another little rock roll. And then all of a sudden, I saw an Aoudad working down the ridge. This is my last morning hunt. We've got to roll. I am so excited when I see this Aoudad, I can't stand it. Now, I just need it to come into range. I need this Aoudad to walk by one of these trails and either head to the water or head to the feeder, but I need it to walk past me so I can get a shot. As it's coming down the cliff, I realize it's a ram, it's a male. It's got the beautiful chaps and all the hair coming off its front legs and the hair on its chest. It just is gorgeous. So now my heart's beating doubly fast. But at the same time, I realize that this ram is wired. It seemed like it took forever for this ram to work down the ridge. Finally, he gets about 30 yards away, but I have no shot. This ram is standing 30 yards away behind the brush, and even though Cole can see him, there's no way I can get an arrow through from my position. This ram stayed in the same spot for what seemed like an eternity. I was going nuts. Something was gonna have to happen. I was either gonna make a noise, Cole was gonna make a noise. We had been there for 30 minutes. It was ridiculous. Something had to happen. Finally, the ram stomps its foot. You can see its posture change, and I felt the wind kind of swirling around, and I thought, yep, it's over. And sure enough, the last day of my hunt in Texas, this ram turns and starts going up the hill away from us. As the ram starts walking away, I see a small opening, and I thought, it's now or never. As I drew back, I picked a spot and let her go. I hammered him. I hammered him. Dude, look at my Aoudad. My first Aoudad just crashed. I just smoked him at 30 yards. I just hammered him right behind the lungs. Yes! Last morning of the last day. Was that a hunt? Seriously? I thought I was gonna miss him, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man!
Did you see him stomp his foot?
Yeah, he went.
Oh, when he stomped his foot, I was like, it's done. And we've been 5 days. 5 days I've been trying to shoot an Aoudad. Same place, that's 9 sits. We've sat here 9 times. Only 3 out of 9 we've even seen Aoudads, and only 1 out of the 9 I've had a shot. I missed a shot at 25 yards, and I was ready to cry. I was like, Fred, how did you miss a shot at that Aoudad? I shot through the top of his back. I've never thought an Aoudad was something I wanted to shoot until this hunt. I went nuts. They are so tough. When that Aoudad started coming in, we saw him 30 yards. I picked a spot, and it's one of those things where you just go, that's what I love about shooting traditional. You just pick the spot, let her rip, and I'm telling you, if I didn't hit him, he didn't go 15 yards, and I can see him. Can you see him lean down? You can see him laying right there. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. It's hard to explain the excitement of not only hunting something you've never hunted before, seeing something you've never really seen before, but then making a perfect shot. It was absolutely awesome. And I get teased a lot about how excited I get on camera. And when I very first did a couple of my hunts on camera for Easton, and they sent me the video to look at it, I went, wow, cut out all my screaming and hollering. I get too excited. I said, cut that out and then use the footage where I'm a little calmer and I talk about it. They said, no way, that's you, that's what we like, so we're gonna keep it. So basically I'm apologizing because you talk about 2 excited guys. I don't know who was more excited, me or Cole, who was running the camera. I think he was partially excited because he could move, because we had been holding stock still for 5 days now trying to get an Aoudad.
And I'm just freaking out. Oh my gosh. That was awesome! It's so nice to yell! I've been having to sit still so much. It's nice to move.
I just smoked him at 30 yards. I just hammered him right behind the lungs. Look at that Aoudad right there. I don't know anything about Aoudads. I can look at this one and I know it's a younger Aoudad because I've seen some that are absolutely giants, huge curling horns that go way back. I know this is a male because of this and these chaps. My arrow is solidly embedded in the opposite shoulder, and if that's not a heart shot, it's darn close to it. Look at this beautiful animal. Let me get my arrow out of it. Oh, you know what? It broke. It broke when it rolled down the hill. I'm gonna have to go up and find the other part of this arrow. I'm shaking still. This was an awesome hunt. My shot was between, what do you think, Cole, 30, 35?
At least 35, yeah.
So 30, a little over 30 yards. I picked a spot and just smoked this beautiful young ram. And they're so neat. I can't wait to show you. They've got tiny, tiny little ears. Real small ears. They've got kind of a crest on their back. The horns are awesome. It reminds me of like I don't even know, like a bighorn in a way. I'm Fred Eichler. You're watching Easton Bow Hunting, and I just shot my first Aoudad. So we did see one this morning.
Yeah.
We got some awesome footage of him.
Good one. Male.
Yeah, it was a male. It was a male. He came in. I'm telling you, you'll have to watch the video because he was there 15 minutes. It's easier. Let's just show him. You want to hook him up? Let's just show. These things are so spooky.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. He definitely winded us though and decided to take off.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll show you the footage. It's cool. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, he's out. You know what I mean? He stomped his foot.
You're such a jerk.
Look, watch. You can watch him go down.
My first Aoudad just crashed. I just smoked it.
I knew it. You're such a jerk. This guy is a jerk.
The cool part about this hunt was hunting with old friends like Mike Palmer and making new ones like Bob Hurd.